can't next weekend.
Oh, okay. Weekend after that?
Andi...
Oh no.
There's a bump in the road for Andi and Jonah's relationship, and brace yourself, Bexy shippers. Let's break down Season 2, Episode 24 of Andi Mack and find out just what happened. Rise and shine on, you lovely people. Lisa here, and happy Friday. Yeah, it's Friday, and today we have a special treat with a new episode of ANDI MACK in order to help kind of get people to tune into the latest Disney Channel original movie, Freaky Friday, which premieres right after. And if you're curious about this new musical take on the classic story, I do have an interview with the cast linked down below. And also don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my other interviews or recaps or whatever videos I decide to make. But now back to the show at hand. ANDI MACK just has one more episode after this for Season 2. That's right, the Season 2 finale airs this Monday, and I've already seen it, and as expected, it leaves off with some cliffhangers, but also has some pretty satisfying moments, which I'm not going to spoil for you. Because we're not here to talk about the finale, we're here to talk about this episode, which is called We're on Cloud 10. We have three main storylines in this episode. We have Cyrus the Therapist with Buffy and Amber, we have Andi and Jonah's first date, and then Bex and Bowie and their feelings for each other. So let's go ahead and dive right in. First up, we'll talk about my new favorite character, Cyrus the Therapist. Yes, if you thought Cyrus was great, I kind of like Cyrus the Therapist even more. Both are great though. He's with Buffy and Amber, and as we all know, Cyrus just has this way with people. He's everyone's friend. I feel like it's hard to be mad at him or not like him. Plus he's a good listener, and we definitely all need someone who's a good listener, plus that friend who's a tad bit quirky. When Buffy and Cyrus are at the Spoon, what do you know, Amber's the waitress, and she's actually getting better at her job. And when Cyrus pays her a compliment and they have this kind of little fun back and forth that's really friendly, yeah, Buffy is in her seat just giving the side eye.
Why do you have this need to be friendly with unfriendly people?
You know, from Amber's point of view, you're the unfriendly one.
Good point, Cyrus. Always the wise one, right? Well, later on, Buffy's over at Cyrus's, and she thinks they're gonna play some kind of game and hang out, and he says they are, but there's a twist with this game. So what's the twist? Cyrus pulled the old little switcheroo buffoo thing and got both Amber and Buffy to come over without the other one knowing. And usually when that happens, things do not turn out well, right? Well, Cyrus sits them both down and works his magic to basically find out why they actually don't like each other. And well, Buffy says it's because of what Amber did to Andi. But she can't think of anything specific that Amber has done to her to make her not like her. And well, Amber dislikes Buffy because Buffy dislikes her. So they basically end up kind of bonding, hashing out their feelings, why they haven't given each other a chance, and they start getting along as they both begin to poke fun at Cyrus.
He's kind of quirky. He's only quirky.
Okay, this breakthrough's getting off track. Can I pencil you in for another session?
I think Cyrus is doing a great job in bringing people together and showing people that people can change for the better. So, yeah. Next up, Bowie and Bex, aka Bexy. So Cloud 10 is just 2 weeks away from being opened, and CC, Bex, and Andi are trying to get that early promo by handing out free samples and flyers. Bowie comes to bring them this nice flower as a welcome gift, and well, when Bex tells Bowie that Andi's going on her first date, you know he has to be there doing the typical dad stuff, aka stare the boy down and question his intentions.
I need a picture.
Well, after Andi leaves for the date, Bex actually asks Bowie to stick around and hang out and have lunch. And well, they have lunch and end up binge watching a show on the couch, complete with some head-on-shoulder cuteness until it gets really late and Bex falls asleep, as does Bowie's leg. Bowie does the old pillow switcheroo while also trying to see if Bex is actually asleep. And it seems like she is passed out cold because she's not moving or reacting to anything. So he actually ends up saying this.
I love you.
Yeah, he thinks she can't hear him, but he also does have a slight inkling she could be faking, so he pretends to leave, complete with the fake foot stomps and closing the door, but Bex's eyes remain closed. And while watching this part, I was like, there's no way she's asleep. She's totally hearing all this. She's gonna wake up and be like, oh my god, I love you too. But then when he did the door thing and she didn't move, I was like, maybe this girl's actually dead asleep, and like, she's not gonna know that Bowie loves her, right? But then once Bowie actually does leave, guess who opens her eyes with a little smile on her face? Yeah, Bex actually was faking this whole time. She totally heard the I love you. So when Andi returns home, Bex reveals to Andi she wants to marry Bowie. And Andi thinks at first Bowie asked Bex without her, but it's Bex who now wants to propose to Bowie. So she and Andi start making a plan. It's going to be a team effort. Yeah, a team proposal, which I think is adorable. And now they just have to figure out that perfect proposal. And last up is Andi and Jonah's first date, which is actually pretty cute. So they end up going to one of those trampoline parks and having a blast. When Andi suggests their next date be the amusement park the next weekend, Jonah says he can't go. So, the next thing is Andi's like, well, what about the weekend after that? And then Jonah says he still can't go. And they both look pretty sad. So what is this secret Jonah has? Well, last episode you all had some great suggestions. I mean, I was thinking the worst and thought maybe someone was sick. Some of you suggested that maybe he has his guitar lessons to help with his anxiety or therapy on the weekends, which he still doesn't want Andi to know about that anxiety, which I thought was also a very good suggestion. But with that, it also wouldn't be a full day thing, it'd be like an hour or so, and most likely not both days. So that doesn't really fit. So what is Jonah's secret?
So you're going to camp. For how long?
For 8 weeks.
Well, just as they're in a good place as a couple and falling into their rhythm, Jonah reveals he's going away to an 8-week ultimate frisbee camp to better his skills and chances for making the elite team next year. And yeah, you can say that Andi is very disappointed.
I just can't help being disappointed that now that we're in the same place, we're not going to be in the same place.
And then they have this overly dramatic goodbye in a way that makes it seem like these kids are never going to see each other. Like, I feel like when you're a teenager or a kid, everything's like the end of the world. So if someone leaves for vacation for a week, you're just devastated. That's what's happening here. And it's kind of like, really, guys? But also, I get it. They're cute. They're like, we just finally had a first date and now you're leaving. I don't even think when Buffy was supposed to leave, things were that dramatic or emotional. It was emotional, but I feel like not like this. But then again, Buffy kind of left without letting them have a proper goodbye. But still.
It's all gonna work out.
Maybe it will.
Bye, Andy, man.
Goodbye, Jonah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. We also have this other tiny storyline about Cece being sad over Pops going to travel the world and missing him so much that she's been sleeping in Andy Shack. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode. I'm actually really happy that Bexy is back on their way to being together, but every relationship on this show is not without some more bumps in the road. And I'm glad that we saw Amber and Buffy make up. I think what happened between them, like I said, is an important kind of thing for all of us to remember, how to treat people and get to know people, stuff like that, life lessons from Disney shows. That's what always happens, right? So with that, I actually kind of hope Amber becomes more part of the group next season. If she's not even fully part of the group, the Good Hair Crew, because even Jonah's not fully part of the Good Hair Crew, that we'll get to see them all hanging out a little bit more because I'm interested in that dynamic. It seems really cool, and she's starting to fit in with the others. So now she just has to fully make up with Andi, I feel like, and then we'll be all set. And this kind of lesson that you see between Amber and Buffy actually kind of continues into the season finale. You guessed it, yeah, it's going to be TJ and Buffy that kind of have this moment of realization together. So let's watch part of the promo for that.
I'm not rejoining the team.
Is this because of TJ?
Why do you care what I do?
Well, because you're good. I mean, not as good as me.
And you know that how?
You gonna play some one-on-one or something?
That's one.
Cyrus the Therapist is always at work. And Buffy and TJ do end up playing a game of one-on-one, and whatever happens after that, I'm not actually going to tell you. You're just going to have to tune in on Monday and watch. But we also have the continuation of Andi and Bex trying to figure out just how to propose to Bowie.
We have the ring. We're proposing tonight.
We need a plan. What's the plan?
The most important thing is we can't let Bowie know that we're up to something.
You two are up to something.
No, we're not.
And well, the log line for this episode, the description, so it's not really a spoiler because it's out there, says that some unexpected guests show up to dinner. And I'm not going to spoil it by telling you who those guests are or what they're there for, but this helps lead to that big cliffhanger at the end of season 2 in true Andi Mack fashion. That we're going to have to wait until season 3 to be resolved. So yeah, I'm guessing season 3 is going to pick up right after the events of the season finale, and since I believe Asher Angel was finishing up filming Shazam when season 3 production started, his storyline actually makes sense and fits with him not being there maybe for the first few episodes. But what I'm hoping the show doesn't do is kind of bring back that love triangle with Walker. I feel like it's played out. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Walker, and I think it could have been fun to see him and Andi together, but we're also finally getting to see that character growth from Jonah. I think he has changed a lot as a character. Like, at first I wasn't that big of a fan of him. He just seemed like a little bit of a robot. Throughout this season, we've actually seen him get emotions. We've seen him learn. We've seen him, like, learn how to treat people, change, you know, all that kind of stuff. And he and Andi actually are in a really sweet place. So I kind of do want to see what happens with that relationship. So I don't know. I like the Walker kid. We'll see what happens with that. But I wouldn't be mad if there was no more love triangles. Too many love triangles on this show. But I feel like there's going to be another one, because we still have that whole Buffy crush thing that's going on, which we haven't heard about in this episode, so we'll see where that goes too. But as far as my favorite, part and performances for this episode, I really did like the Cyrus, Amber, and Buffy scene. I think that was a great one. But I also did like Andi and Jonah's first date before it got seriously dramatic. It was really cute, and I loved that it was not like a movie or something. It was something more adventurous, like a trampoline park, which makes me want to go to one now. And if you ever need a good workout, just go to one of those places and jump around for like 30 minutes. Yeah, you won't be able to move the next day unless you do it a lot, or you work out a lot, or get outside more than I do. But yeah, that's all I got for you for this episode of What Happened Andi Mack Style. We only got that one episode left in the season. It's a pretty good finale. Watch that on Monday. But until then, let me know your thoughts about Jonah's news. Will he and Andi be able to survive this break? Do you think Buffy and Amber will actually become friends? Do you want to see more of that dynamic? And what do you think about Bex and Bowie? Will there be a proposal? Will there not be a proposal? Sound off down in the comments. Then, if you haven't, Freaky Friday premiered right after this episode. You can watch it probably now on Disney Channel or on their app, whatever. If you want to do that, I also got some interviews with the cast right over here, so be sure to check that out. It's actually a cute movie. I know people are, iffy about another remake, but this movie's already been remade like 50 times, so yeah. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. See you guys next time. Peace!